Hi guys, and welcome back to another video, and today we're doing something a bit different. Today is a Monty episode. So Monty doesn't get a lot of attention on the social media, so today we're going to do an episode just about him, just to introduce him to you guys as well. And also I'm going to highlight why I think Lurchers are actually one of the best pets that you can get, and maybe a couple of reasons at the end why they're maybe not for you. So guys, what we'll do is we'll go back to the beginning of Monty's story. So me and Stacey actually moved in with each other relatively soon after becoming a couple, and just less than a month into us moving in together, I decided to go and inquire about rescuing a dog. So we went to a kennels which used to be a rescue kennel but no longer was. However, the people in there said that they had a dog which was going to be sent to a rescue kennel if we wanted to look at him. And it was this dog here. I don't know if you can see how much hair is coming off him. He's casting right now, so I'll probably cover this a bit later. But so Monty's previous owner was actually an elderly man who put him into a boarding kennel while he went in for a surgery. Now, unfortunately, there was complications and that man didn't make it back out of hospital, and there was no one left who could look after Monty. So the family of the man just basically signed Monty over to us without him ever having to go to the rescue centre. But Monty was a rescue before that, so that man had actually rescued him. He's looking out the window right now. But that man had actually rescued him before, so if he had went into a rescue centre, that would have been his second time. So that was about 7 years ago, and at the time they thought Monty was between the ages of 5 and 7. So that gives us what his age range would be around now, which is possibly around 14, 12. So when we first got Monty, you could tell he was a bit sort of out of place for the first week. He wasn't really sure what was happening, and then one day something changed and he really sort of opened up and became very affectionate with us and really sort of started to show his personality. And Monty, I would say, was already quite well trained when we got him. He has always been good around stock. He seems to know the difference between stock and other animals because he's been in lambing pens with young lambs jumping and bouncing around, and he's just not bothered about chasing them, which for a lurcher is quite rare. Monty, in his heyday, back when I had just Haig and Kate, Monty was the fastest, and I've tried to clock Monty with the bike before, and you normally run out of field before he runs out of steam. The fastest I've clocked him at was 40 miles an hour, and he was still exhilarating at that point. And Monty's always been very good with other dogs and other people, and we actually used to take Monty when he was younger to the dog park a lot, and he also is probably the best swimmer out of the lot of them, which is quite surprising. He absolutely loves the water, or he used to when he was younger. He used to swim in the sea, he used to swim in rivers. He would dive down in rivers to try and pick up stones from the bottom, which was always quite funny to watch. So as I mentioned, Monty is a lurcher. So what is a lurcher? So a lurcher is a name we give to a certain type of crossbreed. So it is when a sighthound type dog is bred to any non-sighthound type dog. So in this case, Monty is a sighthound which has been crossed with some sort of collie. So lurchers had a bit of a reputation in Scotland and across the UK as poachers' dogs, and a poacher is an illegal hunter. And this is because sighthounds were basically used for hare coursing or rabbit coursing, and that is when you set two dogs after a rabbit. and a lot of people used to do this illegally across other people's land. Number 1. These dogs, although they are sports dogs, they are sprinters. They are not endurance dogs. These dogs are built for 5 or 10 minutes of fast-paced exercise, and then they're pretty much good for a 3-hour nap. These dogs are couch potatoes. They're a bit like greyhounds. They're the world's fastest couch potatoes. They can have a really intense energy, a lot of fun to play with, and relatively need short amounts of exercise for a dog of this size. They do still require some walking and some fast-paced running around, but generally they are just big couch potatoes, and they are super easy to look after in that respect. And a good example of this is just fetch. These dogs absolutely love playing fetch, and it is a great way to tire them out. And I feel like with the energy levels they have, it is attainable to most people to have one of these dogs, still have a lot of fun playing and carrying on with a dog, but it also being maybe not so boisterous in and around the house. One of the other things that make these dogs great pets is they're just big, gentle dogs. They have very loving and caring personalities. They tend to be very gentle and a little bit soft, and they have these huge personalities. They can be quite dramatic at times. Sometimes they'll can be quite vocal. So Monty, when he's having fun or enjoying himself, he has this sort of low grumble. When he yawns, he likes to scream, and they also sort of talk in their own little way sometimes. And to add to that, my experience with Monty, and I don't know if it's the same with everybody else with Lurchers, but he has generally been really good with strange people, other dogs, children. He just seems to get on with his own thing. If he doesn't like a situation, he just tends to distance himself from it naturally. And he's always been quite well behaved in that respect. And another thing that's worth mentioning with Lurchers is you can get these dogs at rescues all the time. I always see these dogs in rescues. Puppies are quite cheap, and because they're a crossbreed, they do tend to be generally healthy, with an average lifespan of about 13 to 14 years. So those are just some of the reasons why I think Lurchers make a really great pet if you're looking for a slightly bigger dog. Now let's talk about a couple of reasons why they may not be the right pet for you. And number 1, and as you'll be seeing as I've been sitting here, they shed a lot. And something else you have to be very aware of is these dogs are hunting dogs, and they have very strong prey drive, especially towards small, furry, fast moving animals. So this means they generally don't get along with cats or small rodents, and when you're walking them, it's generally best to keep them on a lead, because if they see something moving fast like that and you're not in a controlled environment, these dogs can run at 46 miles an hour. You will not be able to keep up with them. So you either need to have a really good recall trained, or you have to have them on a lead when you're out in spaces that aren't enclosed. Having said that, like I said, I've had Monty in lambing sheds before. He gets in the pens with the lambs. He doesn't chase any of them. And the sheep, it's almost amazing. They also ignore him. It's like, because he is just completely ignoring them, they just completely ignore him, and they don't even move away from him. He's like an imposter in the herd. When he was younger and he used to come to lambing sheds and things. And the last thing you have to be aware of, and if anybody has a Lurcher, please in the comments tell me if you've ever experienced this, but Lurchers will lick random things. So for Monty, it is like fabrics, so he will sometimes lick the couch, he'll lick pillows, and if we were to leave, but it is something Lurchers are supposed to do. So I don't know if anybody else with a Lurcher has experienced that, but supposedly it is something Lurchers are meant to do. So anybody in the comments, if your dog does that, please comment down below. Anyway guys, Monty is obviously bored, so we are going to end this video here. So that'll do for today's video, guys, and thank you very much for watching.